Being a composer, writing and producing music um, can sometimes become a stressful or intimidating process, especially when you end up comparing your craft to what's out there. Now, there are, of course, certain benefits of doing that since you're training your ears and it helps you to be really, really aware of a functional result. If you take a film score, for example, and you look at a scene in that movie, and you listen to the dialogue, and you listen to the music, and you're trying to understand the alignment of those different elements that makes the scene what it is. Now, the difficulty comes in when you're trying to do it yourself. If you take that exact scene and try to write your own composition or score to that, most likely you are gonna end up trying to capture the exact same mood because you're already affected of it. And it's the same thing with producing music generally, because you have your favorite composers and producers, and you study them. Now, once again, the studying process is what helps you craft your skills and your understanding of music production and how to arrange music. But there's a danger in going into depth in this process of trying to emulate what kind of plugins are your composers using, software, synths, outboard gear, microphones, what kind of DAW are they using, and believing that there's a definite quick fix to a pretty large question. Now, it takes a lot of time and patience in getting to your own sound, but you can't forget that it all starts with a simple idea, a song, a melody, or a chord structure. And it can start on a piano or a guitar before it ends up in a digital workstation, or before it even becomes, an orchestral score. So sometimes I feel that, working, in reverse by thinking that if I have all these tools, it will help me write good music. Which of course is not the case, because you need to have a good piece of music, a structure, something to work with. And in order to make that convincing to the listener, it has to be genuine. It has to be authentic, and not, an attempt to sound like anybody else. And that's the intimidating part, because it's challenging to expose yourself, to a director, or to a musical friend, a colleague, because they're listening with really critical ears, and they're comparing it to what's already out there. They're like A-Bing this. And I'm not really sure how to go around that. There's really no no answer to that because I do it myself as well. But I also know that when I hear a piece of music that is poorly produced, it doesn't have, all the fanciness to it, but it sounds genuine. It sounds honest. I can take it for what it is, I give it cred. And sometimes I can listen to a highly produced song and feel the opposite, that it's trying too much, It's overly processed. And it sounds like, that producer, but it's not that producer. So in the end of the day, it comes down to finding your own voice and believing in it and being consistent in the fact that you're doing this because you need to do it. You have that call. You need to express yourself, and it just so happens to be music. And that you're not doing it to impress others or to become famous, because all those things are simply just a bonus. And the comparison of what kind of equipment you're using towards another person, I think that if you spend a little time thinking about that, you come to the same conclusion as everybody else. That it really doesn't have anything to do with it. Because that plug-in on that guitar doesn't make any sense if it's not recorded in a good room, with a good microphone placement, with a good microphone, with a preamplifier that enhances the sonic character of the room and the amplifier, and so on and so on. And of course, it's about trial and error. So I'm not criticizing the steps that leads you up to studying or trying to decode your favorite composer or producer. It's part of the learning process, and it's really, really good ear training. Another aspect would be to really, really analyze, a musical arrangement and understanding what space and air can bring to the table. And once you're there and you've gone through all these different things, I'm convinced that the creative process of writing music and being productive is a whole lot better and cheerful than it's been before. And if you hit that wall and you can't get through it, let's say you're sitting and working on an arrangement or a mix or a composition, or if you're mastering something or just producing something and it's not really happening, just step away from it. Have a coffee, go meet some friends, go for a walk, dust off your bike, go for a spin, and take some time off. Just get some distance from it. And when you get back to the desk, I'm sure it's going to feel a lot better. So you're not alone. I'm in this together with everybody else, because it's a constant reminder of where we're going and who you're doing this for. And we'll just keep on writing music and be honest to our craft.